I am overstimulated by narrative because I watched a lot of films this October. We went into the cinemas and we watched 5, 3, sometimes 20 films a day in dark cinemas for the BFI London Film Festival. But as my friend Julia used to say about her 3rd grade recounts, we all went home, tired but happy. Okay, oh God, Hamnet is where we're starting. It is an adaptation of Maggie O'Farrell's novel by Chloe Zhao, who did Nomadland, a brilliant filmmaker who has enlisted the talents of Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal to take us into this extremely moving story of loss and love and creating art out of sadness. Wasteman. This is Cal McCall's featured debut. It is a British thriller about prison, brutality, violence, the cycle of incarceration, and it stars David Johnson. David Johnson is going to win an Oscar one day, and so I just feel like we all need to watch everything he's in so we can be on the journey. So watch Wasteman. He's phenomenal as Taylor, who's a man who's sort of kept his head down in prison. He could get an early parole, and then he gets a new cellmate, who is Tom Blythe as D, and who might impact his chances. So, you know, not an easy watch. Next up, we have 100 Nights of Hero. I love this film. This film is so otherworldly and fantastical with such a topical and timely heart. It's sort of like this magnificent queer feminist fairy tale by director Julia Jackman, who did Bonus Track. She sort of uses this fantastical lens to make a literal pantomime out of the dangerous framework that is patriarchy. These amazing performances from Emma Corrin and Micah Monroe and Nicholas Galitzine, who is a character that is an absolute walking flag, not like other lords, like modern dating nightmare. And it has a really great appearance by Charlie XCX, who is just becoming a movie star by the film this year. The production design and the costume design are nothing short of heroic. This film is just so pretty. Next movie is called High Wire. Now this is British Hong Kong director Khalif Chong's debut. Lots of debuts this year. Wrote this film with Jackie Lam, and it is a gem of a coming-of-age comedy drama. 1899 star Isabella Wei plays a British Chinese student who is working at her father's takeaway joint, and she lives in a small rural town, and the circus comes to town, quite literally, including acrobats, and she somehow makes her way into that world, no spoilers, and she kind of fluctuates between these two realities. But the film also looks at complex family dynamics in the Chinese community and uses comedy to call out racism in the UK.
You never been with a biker then? Biker, no.
Let's talk about Pillion. Let's only talk about Pillion forever. Pillion is based on Adam Mars-Jones' book Box Hill. We have another video on that. You should check it out. It's amazing. And it is Harry Lighton's sort of tender, funny, and really steamy debut, which sees Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling in one of their best performances yet. Like, hands down, they are both phenomenal and very different characters. It is a movie about subdom dynamics and the complexities of how they navigate kink, how they navigate their connection with each other is just so wonderful to watch. It's also a really charming, romantic film. And it's also really, it's really steamy. Also, shout out to the Foley team who did the work on Alexander Skarsgård's like leather. Because when he like walks, all you can hear is it like, it's amazing. Next film, My Father's Shadow. This is a beautiful film. Akinola Davies Jr. directs this and wrote this with his brother. It tracks one day with a father and his 2 sons as they sort of travel through Lagos during the Nigerian presidential election in 1993.
My fellow Nigerians, it is true that the general election was seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of election malpractices, virtually in all the states of the Federation, before the actual voting began.
Yeah, I think that's all I have. For more reviews, interviews, features, news, roundups on entertainment, TV and movies, go to Mashable.com. Mashable's entertainment team does a phenomenal job rounding up everything for you, so you just watch the good things. Just watch the good things. We don't have enough time.